Welcome to the series of Reading the Bible Daily in a Year with
Mari.
and Les. We're on day 5. And today we're going to be covering Genesis chapter 14, and we're going to start at verse 14. We're going to go all the way to Genesis 18, and we're going to stop at verse 8. Let's get to it. Okay, so Mari left us, nos dejó picadas with a war. Okay, there was a war with the king, and what did she tell us? That Lot got captured. So now Abraham knows what's going on. So he has a choice. He could say, well, you decided to move over there. That's on you. You chose to live there when you knew that city was wicked. You're on your own. No, he didn't say that. He said, I'm going to go get my cousin. We were together and we are close family. He goes to Sodom with 318 trained men. These men knew how to fight. He plans an attack at night. He wins, gets his cousin back, all the goods back. He goes and visits the king of Salem, who's also a priest of God. The priest blesses Abram and says, all this victory, this is from God. And Abram gives thanks, le da agradecimiento y le dice a Dios, gracias Dios, I'm going to give you a tenth of everything that I recovered and I'm going to give it to you. He offers it to the priest as thanks. Then the king of Sodom, he says, I want to repay you for what you did and I'll give you some money as a reward. But Abram says, no, I don't want any of your money. You're corrupt. I already know the city is wicked. I don't want anything from you. All of this, all of the things I give to God, and that's it. That's all I need. Now we're going to move on to Genesis 15. So it starts off with Abram having a vision from God. In this vision, God tells Abram, don't be afraid. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to bless you. But then Abram says, God, he confesses and he says, hey, God, I am afraid. I am scared because I don't have a son. I don't have anybody that's going to inherit all of this. If anything, it's going to go to my servant. And God says, no, I'm going to bless you and you're going to have a son out of your own family. And the son that you're going to have is going to have many descendants. And they're going to be so many descendants that you're not going to be able to count them. They're going to be as countless as the stars. In the same vision, the Lord tells Abraham, your future descendants, they're going to suffer actually. They're going to be slaves for 400 years. But don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'm going to rescue these people. I'm going to get them back to the promised land. All you have to do is believe. For Abram to believe, the Lord does another covenant with him. This time it involves animal sacrifice. Okay, now we're going to move on to Genesis 16. Man, there's drama in this chapter. Y'all remember, Mari had told us Abram had a wife named Sarai, and so far she couldn't have children. And you also remember that I told you that Abram was afraid that he couldn't have children. Sarai says, Abram, I have an idea. I have an Egyptian slave. Her name is Hagar. I think that you should have her and you should have a child with her, and that way you can have a son. So she chooses not to trust God. She chooses to say, I'm going to take matters of my own, and this is how we're going to do it. She tells this idea to Abram, and Abram says, okay, I'll do that. But then Hagar gets pregnant and Sarai starts feeling some type of way and says to Abram, hey, I don't like this anymore. I take it back.
Too late.
So she starts telling Abram, I don't like this anymore. This is not working. So then Abram says, no. This was your idea. This is your slave, so you take care of it. I'm walking away. Sarai starts treating Hagar just bad, so bad that Hagar runs away. She runs away to the desert, and then in the middle of the desert, she's met by an angel. And this angel says, Hagar, you have to go back to Sarai and you have to submit to her. You're pregnant. You're going to have a son, and you're going to call him Ishmael. And he's going to be a leader of great nations. And Ishmael means God hears. God heard her plea, everything that she was suffering, and told her, like, I'm going to make sure that Ishmael is taken care of. And Hagar is overwhelmed and says to God, you are the God who sees me. And she calls him El Roi. Like, you saw my suffering. You saw me in the middle of the desert, and you chose to fight for me when nobody is fighting for me. Hagar goes back and has the son, makes Abram a father at the age of 86. So now we're going to move on to Genesis 17. Here, God comes back to Abram in a vision, and he says, hey, I told you you were going to have a son. I'm here to fulfill this promise. And in the same vision, he changes his name from Abram to Abraham, from Sarai to Sarah. And he tells them, I know you have a son, and his name is Ishmael, but he's not the one that's going to fulfill my promise, my covenant. You're going to have a son with your wife, Sarah, and he's going to be called Isaac, and he's going to lead many nations. And I know that you're probably thinking, well, what about my son Ishmael? Don't worry. Like, I've already blessed him. I'm going to take care of him, but he's not the one that's going to fulfill my promise. So then Abraham laughs, and he's like, what do you mean I'm going to have a son? I'm 99 years old. And God said, look, I said what I said. You watch. So then God makes another promise to Abraham. He introduces a covenant of circumcision. And he says, so that you know that I'm for real, you are going to circumcise you and all of the men around you. It's going to mean that you belong to me. This is going to set you apart from everybody else, and everybody else that knows, they're going to know that you're from God. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Genesis 18. It starts off by saying that the Lord appeared to Abraham on a hot day outside of his tent. So then it also tells us that he sees 3 men walking towards the tent. Abraham approaches them and says, hey, you should come in. He takes care of them. He tells his wife, hey, get stuff ready, le lava los pies, les da de comer, les ofrece cama. Super host to these men, right? Pues ¿saben qué? Ahí los dejo. The 3 men in the tent. That means that tomorrow y'all have to come back for day 6. It's getting good, huh? Come back tomorrow for day 6. We're going to be covering, what are we going to be covering, Mari?
We're covering Genesis 18, starting at verse 9, all the way to chapter 21 to verse 21.
So come back tomorrow for more Bible and vibes. And don't forget what?
Bring your cafecito
or your tecito.
Bye.